In the misty dawn of the late Cretaceous period, over 95 million years ago, a world unlike any other awakens. This is not the familiar landscape of Tyrannosaurus rex or Triceratops. This is a vast, humid river delta, a network of winding waterways and lush, swampy floodplains teeming with life. Here, in what is now North Africa, the age of dinosaurs unfolds under a rising sun, revealing an ecosystem dominated by water and colossal creatures. And from the swirling morning fog, a silhouette begins to take shape. It's a form both bizarre and terrifying, unlike any predator that came before or after. A magnificent towering sail slices through the mist, heralding the arrival of the true king of this water world. This is Spinosaurus, the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever to walk the earth. Its sheer scale is breathtaking, dwarfing even the mighty T-Rex. As the light catches its face, a massive crocodilian eye opens. It's not the eye of a mindless beast, but of an intelligent, hyper-specialized hunter. Reflected in its gaze is a pristine primordial landscape, a world untouched by humans, where only the strong survive. This is the world Spinosaurus was born to rule. With a deliberate, powerful movement, it steps into the shallows. The water ripples and swirls around its enormous three-toed feet, each tipped with formidable claws. Below the surface, schools of ancient fish dart away in a panic. They know the river's master has come to hunt. Along the muddy banks, smaller dinosaurs scatter in terror. From this low-angle perspective, Spinosaurus is a living mountain, a force of nature that commands respect and inspires fear. As the sun climbs higher, its rays illuminate the dinosaur's most iconic feature, the incredible sail. Stretching nearly 2 meters high, this structure of skin stretched over long spines glows in the morning light. Was it for display? For regulating temperature? Whatever its purpose, it makes Spinosaurus an unmistakable and dominant presence in this prehistoric panorama. The giant predator lifts its long, slender snout, a specialized tool packed with sensory organs. It sniffs the humid air, detecting the faintest scents carried on the breeze. It can sense prey from miles away, both in the water and on land. Behind it, a dense tropical jungle pulses with life. The air is thick with the calls of unseen creatures and the rustle of giant ferns, a constant reminder of the vibrant yet dangerous world it inhabits. Each step is an event. In slow motion, we see its massive foot press into the thick mud, the ground itself seeming to tremble under its immense weight. This was a creature that weighed upwards of 7, maybe even 10 tons. It was built for power, an unstoppable behemoth in its chosen environment. Underwater, the scene is just as dramatic. Its powerful legs stir up clouds of sediments, sending ancient coelacanths and sawfish scattering for cover. The entire river ecosystem reacts to its presence. Suddenly, with lightning speed, Spinosaurus plunges its head into the water. Its long, narrow jaws, perfectly adapted for this very task, snap shut on a massive prehistoric fish. Water erupts in a spray of chaos and fury. From the edge of the trees, a rival theropod, perhaps a Carnivorous, watches. But from this distance, it looks small, utterly dwarfed by the river giant. It knows better than to challenge the king in its domain. Spinosaurus then unleashes a roar. It's not the high-pitched shriek you might imagine, but a deep, resonant, thunderous sound that vibrates through your very core. The roar echoes across the wetlands, a definitive statement of its dominance. In response, flocks of pterosaurs and early birds take to the sky, their panicked flight a testament to the power of that single sound. The king has spoken, now the hunt continues. We follow Spinosaurus as it patrols the river's edge, its powerful paddle-like tail swaying behind it. This tail was its engine in the water, a massive, finned appendage that could propel its colossal body with surprising speed and agility. A slow circling camera shot reveals its complete anatomy. The muscular arms with huge hooked claws, perfect for grappling with prey. The massive, flexible tail. And of course, the towering sail that defines its silhouette. It stands half submerged, a perfect amphibious predator, equally at home on land and in the water. This dual-natured existence is what made Spinosaurus so unique and so successful in its environment. It didn't just compete with other land-based carnivores. It opened up an entirely new niche. But the prehistoric world is as unpredictable as it is dangerous. Dark storm clouds gather on the horizon, rolling in with astonishing speed. The sky darkens and a torrential downpour begins. Rain hammers down on the ancient landscape, but Spinosaurus remains unfazed. Water streams down its sail and its scaly hide as it stands resolute against the storm. A flash of lightning splits the sky, illuminating the dinosaur for a fleeting, epic moment. In that flash, it looks less like an animal and more like a myth, a god of the storm, an elemental force of nature. The intensifying weather doesn't deter it from its purpose. Driven by hunger, it moves deeper into the river, its form becoming one with the churning, storm-tossed waters. Now we plunge underwater for a dramatic chase. Powered by its incredible tail, Spinosaurus lunges after a giant sawfish. It's a burst of speed and power that seems impossible for an animal so large. The fish, however, is fighting for its life, and with a desperate flick of its own tail, it narrowly escapes the dinosaur's snapping jaws. It's a stark reminder that even for the apex predator, survival is never guaranteed. A hunt is a gamble, and failure is always a possibility. Emerging from the river, Spinosaurus breaks the surface in a spectacular slow-motion sequence. Water cascades off its immense body, each droplet catching the last rays of light as the storm begins to pass. And what a sight it is! The clouds part to reveal a stunning sunset, painting the sky in fiery shades of orange and red. The wetlands glow with a renewed golden light. The great dinosaur climbs onto a small hill, a vantage point from which it can survey its vast territory. The panoramic view is breathtaking, establishing Spinosaurus as the undisputed master of this river kingdom. Below, as it moves on, smaller creatures cautiously emerge from their hiding places. The riverbank slowly returns to a semblance of normalcy, life resuming in the wake of the passing giant. As twilight deepens, Spinosaurus melts back into the shadows of the dense jungle. The last thing we see is the top of its sail disappearing among the giant ferns and cycads. Night falls, and a canopy of brilliant stars appears in the clear sky. The world is now alive with the sounds of the night, the chirps of insects, the calls of nocturnal hunters, a symphony of prehistoric life echoing through the darkness. By the light of the moon, we find Spinosaurus again, resting near the water's edge. But even in rest, it is not still. It remains alert, its senses keenly aware of the world around it. A close-up shows the slow, steady rhythm of its breathing, the subtle rise and fall of its massive chest. The raw power is palpable, a coiled spring of potential energy, ready to be unleashed at a moment's notice. The final shot fades out on the moon's reflection, shimmering on the dark, quiet river. For now, the king is at peace. But in this ever-changing world, new challenges always lie on the horizon. As midday approaches, the sun beats down relentlessly. Heat shimmers rise from the wetlands, creating a distorted, dreamlike landscape. The world slows under the oppressive heat. To conserve energy, Spinosaurus moves into the deeper shade at the edge of the jungle. It finds a spot partially concealed by the giant ferns and ancient trees and settles down to rest. The air is thick with the buzz of insects. In this quiet moment, we see the details of a life lived on the edge. Close-ups reveal the scars and weathered textures of its skin. Each mark a story of a past battle, a narrow escape, a hard-won victory. This is a survivor, a veteran of a brutal world. In the distance, a herd of herbivorous dinosaurs, their long necks held high, crosses the river. They are aware of the predator resting in the shadows and give it a wide berth, a testament to its fearsome reputation. Spinosaurus watches them with a calm, calculating gaze. It is not hungry. It assesses their movements, filing away information for a future hunt, but for now, it does not engage. Energy is a precious resource, not to be wasted. A distant rumble breaks the afternoon stillness. The sky darkens. Another storm is brewing, a common occurrence in this volatile climate. Strong winds begin to whip through the trees, tearing at the leaves. The relative peace is over. Sensing the shift, Spinosaurus rises and turns back toward the open river, its natural element. The rain begins suddenly, a torrential downpour that pounds the water's surface with violent intensity. The world is transformed into a chaotic swirl of wind and water. But Spinosaurus is undeterred. It strides forward into the storm, an unstoppable force of nature, completely at home in the chaos. Its focus is unwavering. A brilliant flash of lightning illuminates the scene, freezing Spinosaurus mid-stride in a dramatic, awe-inspiring tableau. It is more than an animal. It is a living embodiment of the raw power of its environment. Waves, whipped up by the wind and rain, crash against its powerful legs. The river swells, its currents growing stronger and more treacherous. Spinosaurus uses its long, paddle-like tail to maintain balance, slicing through the rushing water with precision. It is an anchor in the storm, perfectly adapted for this aquatic turbulence. An underwater shot reveals its broad, webbed feet gripping the muddy riverbed, holding firm against the powerful current that seeks to sweep it away. The storm reaches its peak. The prehistoric environment is a symphony of chaos-crashing thunder, howling wind, and churning water. It is nature at its most furious. And in the heart of it all, Spinosaurus lifts its head and roars. It is not a roar of anger or fear, but a challenge to the elements themselves. In this final epic view, we see Spinosaurus framed beneath a canopy of stars, a timeless ruler of its watery realm. More than just a dinosaur, it was an evolutionary masterpiece, the largest meat-eating animal to ever walk the earth, and the undisputed emperor of the prehistoric wetlands. Thank you for joining us on this journey back in time. If you were as mesmerized by the mighty Spinosaurus as we were, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell for more incredible adventures into the prehistoric world. See you next time.